One of the questions I was asked was about what is the Christian view of cloning? And to kind of answer that question, we have to first understand what cloning is. Cloning is simply a form of reproduction. It's a way to create another human being. So obviously you can create a human being through the good old-fashioned way of human sexual reproduction. You can create a human being through in vitro fertilization, but you can also create a human being through cloning, and that's just simply taking the DNA material from, let's say, a cell from my body, injecting it into an egg from a female who's had the nucleus removed, so she has none of her genetic material in that egg. So taking my genetic material, implanting it in this egg, and then kind of stimulating it for that egg to start reproducing or to start growing. Now, what that would create is a genetic duplicate of me. Of course, it'll be a lot younger than me, but in essence, that's what we're creating. Now, the whole reason that cloning has gained popularity is for the purpose of embryonic stem cell research. Because in embryonic stem cell research, what they're trying to do is get these stem cells from embryos in order to use them in other people who have diseases and illnesses. Now, the problem that occurs normally with embryonic stem cell research is that you have tissue rejection. Because if you take embryonic cells from some child and put them in my body's going to reject it. Well, cloning solves this problem entirely, because by using stem cells from a clone of mine, well, then there's not going to be any tissue rejection. And this is an indication as to why I'm concerned with cloning. It's not so much that we're creating a human being that is a genetic duplicate of me, which, although that's weird, and perhaps you could offer an argument as to why cloning is wrong for that purpose, or in that using that method, that's not exactly why I'm most concerned. In fact, in public debates or in public areas when I'm arguing about this, I say that the reason why I'm opposed to cloning is because every time a clone is to be created, at least in our with our technology and eventually in our lifetime, that clone will always be deemed as less than human. That clone will always be created solely for the purpose of taking its body parts and using them for the benefit of somebody else. And so because that clone is always going to be treated as less than human, they will probably always end up being killed. Because really, cloning is a solution to embryonic stem cell research. It's to solve the problem that embryonic stem cell research presents, which is tissue rejection. And so this is primarily why I'm against cloning, because we're always going to see these humans as less than human.